On today's episode, we're going to check out this 2000 Buick LeSabre. We're going to try to replace motor mount, possibly the rear transmission mount, and the forward-facing motor mount on it. It's got a little bit of hop when you put it into gear and a little bit of vibration going down the road. So we'll check it out, see what we can get done, see if we can't get dirty. So what we have is a 2000 LeSabre, 3.8 liter automatic transmission, about 225,000 miles on it. I already did a fresh oil change and it's leaking again. But yeah, so the main problem is that you put it in gear, like from park into reverse, and you feel the car want to hop. Going down the road, there's a little bit of noise when you hit a bump. I guess almost like a bump noise. Irony. Already replaced the struts in it, both front struts, and had it aligned. Checked it over, inspected like I do everything else, and with the hop in gear and some of the vibration going down the road, I've had a few of these before, and that's usually what it is, a motor mount. And I've never bothered tackling it before. I've always just junked the car or sent it right into a ditch. So this one has to stay around for a little while. We're gonna see if we can't fix it right. Now this job is gonna be easier if you have a hoist. I know most of the folks at home probably don't, as I trip over the tripod. I got this one used, 9 or 10 years old, 10,000 pound, 2-post Challenger. Done really well. Doesn't think twice lifting up a heavy truck, diesel, anything like that. So you can do this from the ground. You know, jack stand, jack, safety squint, no gloves, you know, the standard stuff. But it is going to be a little bit easier on a hoist. So with that, let's see here. Oh, I forgot. I also did a sway bar link here when I had the new struts in. But this motor mount, man, I'm just knocking over everything today. This is the mount that we're going after. Some people refer to it as a hydraulic mount, hanging mount. The verbiage, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. This is our passenger side, so we'll refer to this as the right-hand motor mount. This is what we call the forward motor mount. This has a stud coming down through here and a stud going up top. So we'll have to suspend, or I guess raise, the engine when we unbolt this to get this one replaced. Looks to me like somebody already sent her through a ditch. The transmission mount, I'm not sure if we're going to try tackling today, but it is this mount here. There's one stud or bolt coming down through. These two thread up through and hold the mount down into the cradle, or the cross member. And there's a couple bolts that are up in here. This is just going to be a real pain in the butt to try and get out today. So this has to go on about a 2.5 hour drive tomorrow. So we're going to see what we can't get done here in the late afternoon. This is going to be our left-hand motor mount. Again, same style as what we had over on the right. Not terribly hard to replace. Unfortunately, the parts supplier that I went through only gave me 3 out of the 4 mounts for today and dropped them off. So we're going to be leaving this one alone, I think. I don't remember either that, or we're going to leave the right-hand one alone. But either way, we'll at least do 2 out of 4. I think Meatloaf said something about that. We've got our forward-facing mount, F for front, or other stuff. You can imagine. So this is what I was talking about. Stud up above, stud down below, sandwiched in between motor and cross member. This, I think if I had it right, this is the left front. The bolt hole is actually offset from the stud. The camera guy can do his job here. But we'll know for sure. We'll take the wheels off and then we'll hold this up and figure out and look. This is transmission mount, and this is what I was talking about. This bolt that comes down through, it would sit like this. Transmission up above here, cross member down underneath here. Like I said, I don't think we'll get to that one today, but we might. First things first, get better access and see what we're working with. We're going to take the wheel off. Now, when you have hubcaps or center caps, I like to use something like this. Get a pack of 4 at Harbor Freight. They're actually like trim removal tools. The little clips like hold your door panels on. You can get behind them and pop them out. Works really well. Doesn't scuff much if you're careful. If you're tough on stuff, you can scuff pretty much anything. Took a guess. 3/4? Now, helpful tip for those of you there at home, if you ever run into taking the lugs off of a wheel and it doesn't pop loose like this right away, see how it was up here, I unbolted the last one, and it pops loose on its own. Now, if you have one that's stuck, what I recommend, let's say it's on here, I always leave one lug nut on about halfway. I take it off, put it back on, a couple turns by hand. And what you can do, you don't have to use a massive sledge, but it helps to have a little bit of extra weight. You come back here, you always want to stay away from the valve stem on the other side, just in case you have tire pressure sensors. And you hit the tire itself. You don't hit the rim. You can dent the rim, break the bead, gnarl over the lip, anything like that. So you just come up and gently and pop, and it should pop off where it's stuck on the inside lip. You put that lug nut up there so your wheel doesn't go careening off into the ether, down the driveway, out the street, hit the neighbor's garbage can. Ask me how I know. Here is where our removal tool is going to come in handy. Push pins that are up here. I'm going to try and do this watching myself through the camera. And of course, since I filmed it, it didn't work. Great. We got one out. Looks like somebody already busted this one loose. We're gonna take this one out, and possibly that one. Yeah, it's back behind there. So we'll get the other 1, 2, 3 out, and then we should have a little bit more room. After looking at this, I realize this is actually incorrectly labeled by some guy that has a paint marker, also known as me. This is going to be actually the right hand motor mount. We'll start by unbolting here, and then we will prop the engine up, take a little bit of weight off, and then we'll work our way up above and then get these out. This band that holds this on. There's one up here, and there should be one on the back side as well that we'll get to. So far, so good. One nut off, 2 nut. Might hit this. Actually, you know what? I think we're gonna go back here, and we're gonna take this one off next. Then we're gonna go up top. We'll take this guy off, and then this one last, and then see where that leaves us. This bolt here that holds this clamp on, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's kind of like getting anything besides money in a birthday card. It's just really unnecessary. Shout out to Grandma. Don't pay attention to that last part. The nut that was on the back side, I threaded the nut all the way off and was able to wiggle the mount up and down and take this off, and it is a 15, or was. Okay, yeah, I now pronounce you socket and bolt. Got the engine jacked up. I was able to slide that top bolt out like we had talked about. Took the hoist all the way up, only had a couple more inches. So motor stayed where it was, car and body went up. There's a problem though. We need to either be able to get this stud out, which I don't think is gonna happen. There's not enough room between the engine and the car. Or this needs to come down further. So I think we can get that back one out. You're gonna be the problem. This probably isn't the best angle for you, but I'm not in this for you. I'm in this for me. We're gonna try and get this to work. Play nice. Oh, we're so close. Not really. There's not really a good spot to pry down. All right, pry bar time. I'm gonna try doing this without blowing the brake line out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't do that. Ha! I'm the wiener. People think you're a nut when you talk to yourself all the time. But when you work alone, that's all you got. You got you. Scary shit's when you start losing arguments with yourself. That's not a good time. Come on, come on, come on, please. Play nice. Come on, come on. Go the way I want you to. Here's where we're at. We got clearance up above. We're stuck. All right, plan B. Plan B, punch and hammer. Safety glasses. I usually employ the safety squint, but I don't know, man. You just don't look very cool with a big old eye patch. Let's try this. Went right back in the hole. This is not a good time. Ha! A win. Got it. One thing I like to do after I get something off, you know, like the old part here, I always like to line it up next to the new one and make sure that it looks similar. You know, they're the right size, right length, everything. Yeah, that's what happens when you miss with the hammer. I don't know how, because my hand is attached to the rest of me. But, so, like I said, the guy earlier was wrong. That's an R. I don't know, German R or something. So, we'll get this one set up here and see if we can get the line back up. Hopefully this stud plays a little bit nicer than this one did coming off, but we'll find out. Okay, new one's in. Started by tightening up that nut, the one that matches it on the back. Shove this bolt back through. Let's see if we can find it. This nut right here holds that bolt in, keeps it tight, and then tightened up the bottom stud, took the weight of the engine off the stand. So this is free now, don't need it. Take it down, put the wheel liner in. What we have to do for this rear, get the nut off the bottom stud here, both nuts off the top. Had to bend heat shield out of the way for the exhaust. After debating lighting it on fire and walking away, the bracket came loose, mount came loose, had to lift the engine up and down and up and down, but it's out. She was pretty tore. She was pretty tore up. Went back together infinitely better than it came apart.
that bolt, there's one above that you have to go through right up in there. 2 nuts up above, bend the exhaust cover out of the way, 1 nut down below. If you're a Buick engineer, do me a favor, don't go to work tomorrow or ever again.
Right hand motor mount's good. Rear transmission mount is good. We're not going to be able to get to the forward facing mount tonight, just running out of time. So we'll take it for a spin. First, backing out of the shop, notice that from park to reverse, it doesn't feel like there's near as much torque on the engine. So hopefully that rear mount got it done, where you saw it was tore on the sides. That probably allowed that mount to collapse basically every time, every time you put it from park to reverse. The other thing then is highway speeds. There's no more vibration coming from the engine bay. I think we've probably got it knocked out, but we will have to come back and do that forward facing mount at another time. So right now we're going to take it for a test drive, see what we come up with. For tonight, we're going to call it good. Test drive was fine. No high speed vibration, no more thumps. Doesn't jump when you put it from park to reverse, so give this one a clean bill of health for now. We need to get back and do that front motor mount at some point, but for now, early tomorrow morning, gonna take off, head a couple hours away, so it's, where's my phone at? I'm holding my phone. It's late, worked all day, worked tonight. I got free pea gravel from the Buick, so we're like a day or two away from Christmas, so probably won't put another video out before then, but everybody stay safe, stay warm, have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys later.